This morning, as Christians celebrate Christmas, Governor Fabio calls for replication of Christ's love in daily activities. More groups held the emergence of Udom Emmanuel as Akwa Ibom State PDP flag bearer for 2015 gubernatorial elections. Akwa Ibom State rated first in rural and community development in Nigeria. Plus, enhancing Nigeria's response to HIV and AIDS concludes a 4-year program in Akwa Ibom. This and lots more in a package this morning. Good morning and welcome to KBC 45 News. I am Miriam Ikbutu. The State Governor Chief Godswill Akpabio has urged the people of the state to allow the spirit of Christmas inspire them to love. In a broadcast to mark the Christmas and New Year, Governor Akpabio called for a replication of Christ's love in daily dealings while doing away with tendencies that put others down. Recounting the faithfulness of God in the state, he said the Tropicana Entertainment Center, Uyo, and Sheraton 4 Point Hotel, Ikorikbene, are poised for commissioning January next year. Another project built for commissioning by next year is the Specialist Hospital, Uyo.
Fabio and I extend to all residents and indigenes of Akwa Ibom State, at home and in the diaspora, our warmest greetings and best wishes for a Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous 2015. Over 2,000 years ago, God's only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, was born in Bethlehem. This was the most significant event in the checkered history of mankind, as he poured into the world the healing medicine of love. This was not only a fulfillment of age-old prophecies, it reaffirmed God's steadfast love for mankind and for the world. This season therefore compels us to follow God's example by celebrating love and showing same to our neighbors, our friends, and our communities. Let me remind us that a Christmas heart is a giving heart, which thinks of others first before yourselves. We must resolve not only to show love to one another in this wondrous season, but also to let love guide our every action in the coming year 2015.
The governor advised the people not to relent in seeking God's affairs on who takes over the leadership of the state, and encouraged the people to vote wisely for credible candidates at all levels. He expressed confidence that unceasing prayers will guarantee peaceful, non-violent, and credible elections in 2015. While wishing the people a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Chief Akpabio urged them to honor Christ in their activities, sow seed of peace and unity, as well as love their neighbors.
Sheraton Hotel at Ikorikbene, something we never dreamt of in our lifetime, but God has been there for us. We are poised to bring about uncommon changes and development in our land. I believe so. Through our urban development program, we have turned Uyo into a modern, beautiful, and small, sophisticated metropolitan city. We have transformed this state into a confluence town of note and a preferred destination in our nation for conferences, for seminars, and for visitors. These are what the Lord has done for us, which we must strive to sustain. My dear people of Akwa Ibom State, the angels proclaim at Christ's birth, "Glory to God in the highest, peace on earth, and goodwill towards all men." This angelic herald sums up our guiding philosophy as a government. We give God the glory in the highest for all the achievements recorded in the last 7.5 years in Akwa Ibom State. We are completely committed to the peace of our state and the enhancement of the living standard of our people. We have exhibited great goodwill towards all Akwa Ibom people, both here and in the diaspora.
More groups have saluted the emergence of the immediate past secretary to the state government, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, as a standard flag bearer of the PDP in the 8th December governorship primaries. The groups, Divine Youth Movement and Uyo 9 Foundation, during a courtesy call on the international president of Akwa Ibom Consolidation Alliance, ACA, Pastor Andrew Wanta, observed that with the experience Udom Emmanuel has garnered in the private sector, the economy of the state will be stimulated and positioned for the needed industrialization of the state. The rest of the story is presented in our studios.
The leaders of the groups, Mr. Monde Okpan and Comrade Anthony Eko, said they were in ACA Secretariat to formally hand over the structure of the two groups to ACA. Mr. Okpan said the two groups, Divine Youth Movement and Uyo 9 Foundation, with membership across the state, Abuja, Rivers, and Cameroon, have a collective membership strength of 500,000, resolved to join ACA to move the state forward. He stressed that they are devout members of the PDP and are committed to the ideals of the party.
Coming together is a blessing. Keeping together is progress. And working together is success that is in sight. Resolved to work together, to mobilize unit by unit, ward by ward, and local government by local government to ensure that another credible government is enthroned in Akwa Ibom State come 2015.
Receiving the leadership of the groups, the international president of ACA, Pastor Andrew Wanta, said it was a normal democratic practice for groups to support any aspirant of their choice, but that it was happy that the groups did not leave the PDP. Pastor Wanta observed that the emergence of Udom Gabriel Emmanuel as winner of the PDP primaries was a manifestation of the collective will of members of the party. He said Udom Emmanuel, when elected as governor in next year's general election, will build on the infrastructural foundation provided by the Akpabio administration to ensure that industries are created to absorb the unemployed youths. The international president of ACA commended the group for their decision, saying that ACA is prepared to work with them and any other group wishing to support the PDP and emergence of Udom Gabriel Emmanuel.
It's normal in democracy that people must take stand to support whoever they feel like supporting at a point in time. But the common thing we should always remember is that PDP is a family we must return to at the end of everything.
Enhancing Nigeria's response to HIV and AIDS, ENR has rounded off its 4-year program in the state. ENR had the responsibility of creating awareness on HIV and AIDS, provided HIV test kits and treatment for people living with HIV and AIDS. The event, which took place at the conference hall of Engine Hotel, featured presentation of awards to individuals and corporate bodies which partnered the ENR in its efforts to reduce the incidence of HIV and AIDS. The technical advisor to Society for Family Health, Dr. Jennifer Yanti, expressed delight at the service provided by ENR in the state since 2010, noting that there was a tremendous reduction in the HIV and AIDS cases. She observed that through ENR program, people in Akwa Ibom State have been enlightened on HIV and AIDS, which have also reduced the cases of mother-to-child transmission.
Called community-led HIV prevention, and that's probably a reason why you see our royal fathers here today. There have been many different programs that have taken place over the last 4 years or 5 years that ENR has been in this state. And we believe that though ENR may be closing out today, that definitely there are many partners who are left behind, and they're going to continue under the support, of course, of the Akwa Ibom SACA, continue to ensure that we move this state forward.
Also speaking, the chairman of Akwa Ibom State Agency for the Control of AIDS, Akwa Ibom SACA, Dr. Francis Udoikpong, commended ENR for partnership with the state government to reduce the incidence of HIV and AIDS in the state. The Akwa Ibom SACA boss pledged its organization's readiness to continue with the activities of ENR in the state.
ENR has been a foundation, the strength to SACA. Most of the achievements we have received have succeeded in doing the Akwa Ibom State today. Has been the backbone. There have been practical in the thematic areas.
Commenting on the achievements of the program, Mr. Hogan Edidem from the United Kingdom Department for International Development said ENR did not fail in its primary goal of combating HIV and AIDS and urged relevant agencies to sustain the tempo.
Commodities translate to preventing at least 100,000 new HIV infections. And this also provided 8.4 million couple years of contraceptive protection, as well as 2.5 million unintended pregnancies.
The event also featured drama presentation by community drama group Oron, its youth and cultural troupe, unveiling of literature materials, cutting of cake, as well as presentation of awards. The House of Representatives Committee on Rural Development has rated Akwa Ibom State high in our contributions to rural and community development in the country. At a two-day national conference on rural development in Abuja, the House of Representatives Committee said the Akwa Ibom State Universal Basic Education Board has done outstandingly well in terms of rural development in southern Nigeria. The chairman of the committee, Mr. Christopher Omar Isu, while presenting an award to the chairman of Akwa Ibom Suburb, Obanwan Grace Ekong, said Akwa Ibom State was also rated the #1 in the southern zone. Mr. Christopher Omar said that the decision was reached after a thorough evaluation of the performances of all the states' Universal Basic Education Boards and their chairman, explaining that the contributions of Akwa Ibom Suburb to rural and community development was most outstanding. Responding on behalf of the board and the Akwa Ibom State government, the chairman of Akwa Ibom Suburb, Obanwan Grace Ekong, thanked the House of Representatives Committee on Rural Development for the honor. Obanwan Ekong dedicated the awards to Governor Akpabio for his huge investment in education and credited the honor to the teamwork and good working relationship between the board and management staff of Akwa Ibom Suburb. The Etimekpo Local Government Students Union Caretaker Committee has been dissolved. The dissolution, according to a statement by the local government, is to prepare grounds for election of new Students Union government for the local government. The Etimekpo Local Government Council thanked members of the committee for their contributions during their tenure and wished them well in their future endeavors. The dissolved committee is to hand over government property to in its positions to the Supervisor for Education, Etimekpo Local Government Council. All is now set for the Founders Day celebration organized by retired personnel from the public and the private sectors under the auspices of Akwa Ibom Retirees Initiative, AKRI. The celebration, earlier scheduled for Saturday 13th December 2014, will now hold on Friday 26 December 2014 at the Judiciary Multi-Purpose Hall, Wellington Bassey Way, Uyo. It will be chaired by the chairman of the State Hospital Management Board, Dr. Valentine Atta. The celebration will feature formal inauguration of the initiative, fundraising for transport facility and office accommodation, as well as the launching of the 2015 calendar. The immediate past secretary to the state government, Mr. Do Emmanuel, is slated to be the chief launcher, while the speaker, Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Elder Sam Ekon, and members of the House are invited as co-launchers. The chairman of Association of Local Governments in Nigeria, Algon, Obon Sintuen, and members will be the special launchers. A former military governor of the state, Tutwe Commodore Nkanga, the state chairman of the PDP, Obon Polipo, and engineer Nsawasi Udofia are special launchers for the 2015 Accra calendar. The political leader of Isienudum, Obon Michael Afangide, the international president of Akwa Ibom Consolidation Alliance, ACA, and state chairman, National Association of Small Scale Industrialists, NASI, Pastor Andrew Wanta, and Commissioner 1 in the State House of Assembly Service Commission, Chief Uno Etimono, are patrons of the day. The permanent secretary, Minister of Works, Dr. Ifre Kekba, will be the guest speaker at the occasion. A statement jointly signed by the national president of Accra, Elder Ntiedo Emma, the chairman celebration planning committee, Mr. Victor Williams, and the PRO, Elder Sonny Umo, indicates that the celebration would be rounded off on Sunday, 28 December 2014, with Thanksgiving service at the Akwa Ibom Church, 2 Abak Road, Uyo. The statement invites all Accra members to attend the event with their spouses. The international president of Mbong Parawe Bibio, Parawa Monday, Etookban, has advised the people of the state to shun practices capable of ruining the needed peace in the state. Parawa Etookban, who stated this in his Christmas message, said Christmas is a period of love, unity, and progress, and call on all to exhibit the same love Jesus did for mankind on the cross of Calvary. Parawa Etookban lauded Governor Pabio for transforming the state and for decorating Uyo with Christmas lights during the Yuletide. To members of Mbong Parawe Bibio, the president enjoined them to make love their watchword and prayed fervently for the progress of Nigeria. Parawa Etookban wished Governor Godswill Akpabio, members of the State Executive Council, a fruitful Christmas and a smooth pass over to a new year. To non-Christians, the president said they should imbibe the spirit of tolerance, humility, and trust which the season symbolizes. He admonished Christians to always remember the undiluted love of God to mankind, as written in John chapter 3, verses 16, and advised Nigerians to ensure that the season is peaceful. The president also pleaded with the security operatives to be on alert for hitch-free celebration. More news after the break. Do stay with us.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your King. Good
has been posted to Akwa Ibom State Command. She is Mrs. Regina Clement Akban from Ikore, in the local government area in Akwa Ibom State. Before her present appointment, she was the controller of prisons in charge of statistics in National Headquarters, Abuja. Addressing officers and men of Nigeria Prison Service Akwa Ibom State Command on resumption of duties, Mrs. Akban charged them to always be punctual to duty and take their work seriously. On the issue of incessant attacks and jailbreaks in some parts of the country, the new controller called on staff to be on red alert and show high level of responsibility. She told the officers and men that any officer found wanting will be disciplined and solicited for staff support and cooperation so that the goals and objectives of the service can be achieved. Mrs. Akban promised to look into problems and challenges facing officers and men of the command. The Deputy Controller of Prisons in charge of prisons service, Akwa Ibom State Command, promised the new controller of prisons of their unalloyed support and cooperation. The management of Akwa Ibom Water Company yesterday held an end-of-year get-together to appreciate staff for their efforts in the year 2014. The get-together, which took place at the company's office at Dominic Utuk Avenue, featured carols by company's choir. Iyareno Paul was there.
The 2014 end-of-year get-together of the Akwa Ibom Water Company commenced with the Managing Director, Engineer Ernest Tudosoro, leading the management and staff to the dance floor. After the dance, the Uyo men choral voices and the headquarters choral voices entertained the gathering with carols. Rastanse and friends sang, rapped and thrilled the crowd with titillating dance steps. Addressing the gathering, the Managing Director, Engineer Ernesto Dosoro, who is also the Chief Executive Officer, said the get-together was to appreciate the staff for their efforts towards the uplift of the company and prayed God to reward them. The Managing Director said it was also an avenue to thank God for seeing them through year 2014, noting that none of the staff died during the year. Engineer Dosara lauded Governor Akpabio and the Commissioner for Special Duties, Barrister Emmanuel Enoidem, for their continual support and benevolence to the company. The company's mission, he noted, is to provide potable water to urban and semi-urban communities, emphasizing that the demand for water is increasing due to population growth, which explains low supply of potable water. He said breakdown of facilities and poor power supply as well as high running costs of diesel also affect water supply.
Let me thank the chairman of this end of year get together for making this promise on behalf of the staff. I want to inform us that 2015 is going to be a year we are going to be more serious than ever.
The chairman of the Get Together Planning Committee, Mr. Nefio Etuk, thanked the management for carrying staff along and promised to continue to do their best.
We have also promised to uphold all appearances of indiscipline and be respectful to our superiors. I promise not to pack our bags for the day before the closing time, especially when the MD/CEO is not in the office.
Other people that bathed their minds at the party were the General Manager, Managing Services, General Manager, Technical Services, Engineer Moses Ikingwood, Board Member Prince Sidibe Tom, General Manager, Water Engineering, Engineer Andem, General Manager, Administration, Mr. Nefio Ukwe, Administrative Manager, Mr. Stephen Ekanem, Chairman of Union, as well as a representative of Niger Delta Service Project. There was also a toast for the uplift of the company, good health, long life for staff. Iyareno Paul reporting.
The management and staff of the Ministry of Rural Development have organized an end-of-year carol service to thank God for His faithfulness. The event, which took place at the ministry's conference hall in the Osunka Secretariat, Uyo, had as its theme, "O come, let us adore Him." It featured choir renditions and carol of 9 lessons. Etienne Oibama reports that the ministry also invited visited Kwaibo Church Leprosy Hospital, Ekberubom, Etienne local government area, to share its joy with inmates. His report is presented.
as the management and staff of the Ministry of Rural Development shared in the spirit of Christmas by singing to the Almighty God. Addressing the staff, the commissioner represented by the Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Cecilia Inyang, said the day was set aside by the ministry that for his love, kindness and favor in 2014. He hinted that Governor Godswill Akpabio's administration has catered for the interests of the rural areas and addressed the development challenges by rural water supply, electrification and roads, among others. The commissioner commended the staff for their dedication and commitment to duties and urged them not to relent in the years ahead.
Still in the business of providing electrification to our rural communities. We're still in the business of providing transformers. We're still in the business of having oversight on our roads, rural roads, and our water supply. These are the cardinal responsibilities of this ministry.
Of the staff, the Director of Administration in the ministry, Mrs. Ironyen Urosoro, thanked the Commissioner, Permanent Secretary, and Directors for sharing the joy of the season with the staff. The staff of the ministry, though, Igbenebum, a Tinan area where they provided a lifeline for the inmates. Among the items donated, bags of rice, beans, gari, vegetable oil, toiletries, and the Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Cecilia Inyang, said since Christmas is a season of love, it was necessary for the ministry to share with those in need and intimated the inmate that God loves them. She urged them to look no matter the challenges of lives and blessings on them. Receiving the items on behalf of the Leper Hospital, the medical superintendent, Dr. Eto Antia, appreciated the ministry for giving succor to the inmates.
In the spirit of the season, staff of the Ministry of Economic Development gathered for an end-of-year Christmas carol service. The event featured praise and worship, song renditions by the ministry's choir, and prayers. The Permanent Secretary, Elder Eyaiko Mana, who spoke on behalf of the Commissioner, said the event was set aside by the ministry to thank God for sparing the lives of staff to witness another Christmas. Elder Eyaiko noted with delight the huge investment God has made in the lives of staff, which he said has brought dividends in the many facets of life, hence the reason for the celebration. He expressed appreciation to the Commissioner for providing the enabling environment and necessary incentives for the celebration and admonished staff to reciprocate the gesture by being more dedicated to their duties. The Permanent Secretary urged the staff to emulate the life pattern of Joseph in the Bible by being committed and focused in their endeavors. Preaching on the topic, Celebrating Christmas with Understanding, Reverend Idon Srinyang of Kwaibu Church, Grace P. Lekat, noted that no other event in history has been celebrated the world over like Christmas, and urged staff to properly understand the essence of the season. He said that God delights in creating festive periods for his children, adding that every feast in the Bible was symbolic. Reverend Ihang enjoined staff of the ministry not to celebrate Christmas ignorantly. The immediate past Permanent Secretary in the ministry, Deaconess Arid Iba, who was the coordinator of the ministry's fellowship during her days in the ministry, urged the staff to be more committed to the ministry's fellowship to attract God's blessings. You can also watch AKBC TV News online by logging onto akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at AKBC45 Uyo, on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. That's our package this morning, but just before we go another look at the top stories. More groups have continued to hail the emergence of Udom Emmanuel as the Akwa Ibom State PDP flag bearer for 2015 gubernatorial elections. We also brought you a report that Akwa Ibom State has been rated first in rural and community development in Nigeria. That's our package this Christmas morning, and we wish you a Merry Christmas. Stay free and stay out of trouble. Good morning.
Accurately informative, knowledgeably innovative.